Me in there, so red, orange, and yellow guy. My beard should be in a blue or black area because it is much cooler than my skin. So I normally make the joke that means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame, but there are gentlemen here that are bigger than me. So I'm not going to make that joke tonight. So with that said, we're looking for cold spots, right? So they're going to be blue and black. I want them to either move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. So that's what we're looking for on this guy. And she's like, oh, snap. So that's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully we'll capture it again one day. I will tell you, I love to give you guys stats of this equipment. I capture about 4 to 5 pieces per year on this guy that I would put my stamp of approval on, not 4 to 5 pieces an episode. I am not a TV show host where everything is going to be a ghost. Just so you guys know, I am not that guy. If you're stretching something, I'm going to be the first one to tell you. I'm going to be the biggest skeptic you guys will ever meet because you guys all watch the TV shows and you love to stretch shit. So again, I'm going to use that first guy to tell you, nope, sorry, you're stretching it. So there is a center crosshairs on here, so the user will be able to actually move the camera to measure something directly. I usually look for 15 plus degree temperature drops if that person decides that they want to measure something. It is 67 degrees out here, ambient for us tonight. I look for 15 plus degree temperature drops, so about 52 degrees or colder is what I'm looking for out of that. And that could also be aluminum cans on the ground, so you guys get the point. So there's a lot of debunking that goes along with this as well. So with this one, you're the one name I forgot, that's why I'm going to you first. Chase, thank you.
Yeah.
So Chase devices, and then bring us back over here and reveal all of the answers. All the communication devices, Ouija board, spirit boxes, and the word list on John. I will not be giving you questions here like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will be getting the answers from the devices that you are using. That's the whole point of this. I don't want you searching for things that are going to be going through it all the time. Now, where are you? Welcome to a parking lot. Congrats, you made it. I told you, I take you to weird spots. This used to be something. This used to be the Pinckney Mansion site. Their mansion actually sat behind me, belonging to Eliza Lucas and Charles Pinckney. So Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the area. So now that you guys have a layout of the land, who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which one's coming through in the event that the name Charles is actually what you guys are hearing. So that way I can address them the appropriate way. Now the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. I just bring it up because if I don't, they will do it for me in a nasty manner from a spirit box. Like, hey, where's my damn recognition? So I just do it every night and move on to Eliza, which is who we're going to be talking about next. Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it that way because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, because her husband was over double her age. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. I'm just going to put that age gap in the back of your brains. Now, Eliza married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. He wants to see him before he dies. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. There's no such thing. She did marry him out of love. Believe it or not, this is a true love story, and there is nothing horrific about this haunting. So, moving on. She was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it right now. Now, when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She actually had to learn from her servants and slaves on how to keep it cultivated. It's not always warm here. Then she learned how to make the dye from them and moved it to a cash crop. Got a hold of her father and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. She was correct, because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. Now, with that said, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here. With each set of communication devices, I'm going to be giving you guys a set of focus questions. What does that mean? You can either focus on them or you can say them out loud. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So again, it's what everybody's comfort level is, and we will be spreading out a little bit. Again, I don't know why I keep getting so. I have Peyton down, right?
Yep.
Okay. Liz and Caitlin then.
Yes.
Okay. So I will have to keep Liz behind with me so I can show her how to operate that thing a little bit further. We're going to start off with Bill and
Michelle and Elaine.
Thank you. And Elaine, you two have the same type of spirit box. You're going to have the same set of questions. You guys are going to be focused on her death. 4 major things we get answers to: how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Those are the 4 majors. If you go rogue, just make sure A, they're respectful questions and that they're not yes/no questions. You got the point. Keep them nice and open. Keith, yours is going to be relative to the mansion's not here anymore. You're going to ask what happened to it, and if you get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the date of the actual tragedy of when that occurred. So they're very specific numbers. So John, with yours is kind of a catch-all. The same thing with the little Ouija board device. So the 2 of you are going to be you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials, ELP, and you're going to be looking for what that L stands for. So the reason why is because there's 2 Eliza wives. The first wife also was named Eliza, but she also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So sometimes you would just get the answers to what everybody else is asking. So hopefully we get words that are spelled out, but particularly we're looking for ELP in that order, no word scramble about it. Who else has a spirit box? I think that about covers all of them. Yes, so I think that covers all of these spirit boxes that we have. EMF meters, you guys already know what you're doing. So I'm going to be keeping Liz behind, so we are going to spread out. Again, just be mindful of the cars coming in and out. That's the only way in and out for vehicles. Nice slow movements out of your cameras. Looks like everybody's recording. And then Ginger, I'll probably come to you next so I can help you debunk a few of the things that you're seeing on there. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'll do a few round robins. Let's get to work, everybody. You guys know why you showed up. Go time.
Nick, I'm looking for cold bodily figures, right?
You got it. And then sometimes there might just be a cold. So for this particular area, just keep it on that shot for a second. Like let's say you had a blue dot that was just kind of moving across, just kind of the way Liz went through there. Yeah. Even if it was super small, I would still like take the screenshots of it moving, because sometimes things need to manifest and they're not like fully into what they need to be yet. So you'll get those smaller pieces that are just moving around. So why did we have that? It just shows a study, especially if it's going super small across your screen.
Okay.
And again, I don't capture things with this every night. It's just super fun to watch.
Sure.
And even when I'm watching it in double time, because I'm watching it in fast forward,
right?
It's fun to watch like how some of the things fluctuate. I've learned a shit ton about thermodynamics by going through this, and then going back, I'm like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
Why does this fluctuate with this? That kind of mentality.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Eliza, how did you die? He didn't like it.
Okay.
Oh, there's the ghost right there. Found her.
Let's see.
Right there. Right there. That's it.
Not yes, no question. Remember?
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Diaper jeans. Eliza, what color? Oh, underneath my That's weird. Eliza, what colors would you need? I don't think I'm curious about those. Join. Yes, word. Eliza, please don't say join me. Oh my god. Eliza, were you I just got 20. I told you guys not to. PS? Join PS.
What?
I don't like that. We have the word join and then MPS, which are her initials.
Yeah, okay. And I just thought, oh, I'm at 23 right now.
You had another 23?
Yeah.
Okay, anything higher than that 23 at this point?
Yeah, there was a 28.1 over here.
So that's your new baseline. Keep it growing up.
Okay. See what you asked. Ask Liza questions. Okay. Liza,
You stay away.
I'm in tears.
You stay away.
I'm in tears. I don't like
What?
that.
What happened?
She did my initials and then she just did EVL.
Why are you crying?
Because this is scary. See, I can't do two things at once. I have to record you.
Not shit.
Nothing?
I know my shoulder's getting sore. I got nothing. There it is. There it is. They were getting some weird stuff. You hear about that? What is your job? What do you got?
I don't know.
Oh, you're
Who
supposed
you
to
talking to? I'm DJ.
Oh, you guys have this bill, man. This bill is scary.
Maybe there's ghosts in that speakeasy. You could have another tequila.
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah,
I'm not
tequila
I'm gonna
smooth.
The, What? Are they being jerks over there?
My box is not working.
No, yeah, that's one of the better. I got the word processor.
Yeah, they keep, a lot of people over here.
I used it. There was so many relevant things in it.
Yeah.
Which is this. Oh, but I can understand. Well, I can understand why people were like, oh, but it's on your phone. It's on your device. It's not real.
Or they can say the after science is something. Listen and answer.
Yeah, but if I asked Eliza how she died and it came up hanging, I mean,
Who would know? Who would know? Unless they have a location.
yeah, that could be.
I'm like, how old were you when you died? How'd you die, Eliza? How'd you die, Eliza? Eliza, how did you die?
Fire there. What was through there?
No, I mean,
What?
I'm gonna get taken.
Are you rattled?
Yeah,
What?
I'm gonna get taken by Eliza.
You gonna get taken?
Where are you buried, Eliza? It said EBL too?
yes. After MPS. Like every letter
Yes.
combination.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's insane.
You're gonna sleep in the other bedroom, then.
No,
Don't
it
bring that
said
negative
it said
energy
joy,
on me.
and then Liz saw
Like
the N.
Join.
Yes, and then it said, and then it had an N, and Liz goes, please don't say you, please don't say you. And then it was MPS, and then it restarted, and it said EBL.
How'd you die? How old were you? How old were you?
Better give her $500.
Yeah, right?
It's less than $11,000 wherever the gypsy wanted from Caitlin.
That's true.
It's much more affordable.
Yes,
Savings.
yes.
$300.
Yes, right.
Savings to do with $300.
Eliza, come out.
I don't like this.
What?
You're possessed.
You think?
You're like the Ring Girl. You're gonna
It's
come on
like
TV.
interference from different radio stations.
Is it very clear when you heard Poet?
Yeah, it was pretty clear. I just heard savings at $300 pretty clear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are there any jams on there?
No, it's
No.
just like broken pieces.
No.
Skydiving. I just heard skydiving. Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh,
That's
she heard us
weird.
I just heard
singing.
skydiving.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else got anything weird going on with
Yeah,
their
that's kind of
equipment?
weird. Like the song we listened to on the way here.
It has join MPS, which are
seen
my
that.
initials,
Right.
and then it did her initials, EBL.
What'd you guys bring with you?
I don't know.
Eliza.
So we listened to a
Eliza's already
song
here.
called Skydiving by Tim McGraw,
Okay.
and I just heard like that lyric.
Skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving.
So to me, that has no relevance to her, but you're on the right track. I don't care who's saying it, just tell me the lyric.
Okay.
Because again, she's not going to know who Tim McGraw is, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just heard Tim McGraw. Was there somebody named Tim here? I'm like, that's not how this works. Again, somebody who they is trying to use the lyric. The way I explained it to them, it's kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers. He didn't have a voice. He used the radio to talk to us. Same. So I just kind of think of it that way.
He asked who we brought
Take a
here.
listen. I just heard.
Wait, do we think the initials mean anything?
just because, I mean, you guys had your direct initials.
Yes. And
Like-
it said join NPS.
Yeah, so to me, that's more relevant to you guys. So I'm more interested on what's on his recording that could come up that I don't know what it means until I give you guys your
I've heard poet, $500, and savings of $300. And then I heard skydiving. A song by Ted McGraw. Skydiving.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
but again, he's
After
probably,
we listened to it?
but
That's
he's
right.
probably missing a lot too.
Yeah.
Because he's new at this. He's never done this before. So there's probably a lot of stuff in there that he just missed out on.
I know to dig deep.
Holy cow. Good job.
It's got the word hot.
We're getting there.
No, that's actually relevant in a much different way.
Got the word what?
What does that mean?
Well, somebody should be asking what happened to the mansion, which I believe I gave those questions to Keith. That's the answer.
Burned up.
Big burn.
Hot 6 guaranteed.
What's the other? You said save $300, and then you had a 58.3. Is that what it was?
20?
Hot CIL.
Yeah. Okay. So you probably right there. These ladies, and then we'll probably wrap this one up.
Sorry, Liza.
So why is
30% off. 30% off. So
But you
you're
guys
gonna
put word.
I'm gonna start blurting out what I wrote.
Yeah, yeah. That was. Ask her. Ask her.
Give me a sign, Eliza. How'd you die?
I think Eliza might have died from
We did get that.
She
We
did
got
not
that.
have to
Yeah.
It's 85%.
So there's a
All right,
word,
guys, let's
there's a
read
word
it
that
in.
comes
You ready?
out there. It's like accurate.
Show you how this all
That's
ties
the
together.
word.
Let's come back over to where we started.
more relevant because we're like looking for it.
So what happens, just so you guys know with these videos, as I do splice them all together, and YouTube doesn't like the flippies, so
Yep.
you guys will have a few minutes like this where you have to watch it upside down. So again, I don't fix them because it takes way too much time to be able to fix 10 seconds of video where I caught somebody that was upside down. Any words? Hit. Hit and tug. That's interesting. So we lost somebody. Did we lose somebody out of the group? No. We're all here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope not.
Yeah. I was just used to the number in my head was 11. Maybe that's.
But it's not recording.
Huh?
Did you tell him?
You want to switch? Sure, yeah.
Hey, Nick,
Yeah.
just so you know, it stopped recording.
yeah.
You can't,
It's this
can't
button
get it to
here, right?
record.
Yeah. Just tap it.
That's right there.
We'll look at the slide, right?
Oh, because you hit the camera button. Yeah, in this location, we're being above an 8 because of the lamppost. We're going to give off a little bit of electricity in the air. Okay, so when we get to the next space, we'll be back down to 2.5. All right, so welcome to Philadelphia Alley, everybody. So this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So when I say some of the duels, it's because dueling was illegal back in the 1700s. You actually had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of them. So every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple. So Keith, I'm going to actually have you put that on mute because my ear is trained to listen to that. So I will kind of get all kinds of distracted. But every ghost tour comes here. We all tell the same story. I'm just going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting and we have different devices. So obviously they're not using devices. But I was actually going to take this out of my route because it's a giant cliche. You're going to see that here in just a minute. But this guy follows me around town. He actually goes with us to the next location and then we'll show up again at our last stop as well. So again, this guy's story has been told for the past 40 to 50 years. We're the only ones that communicate back with him, especially directly when we can hear things coming from him. So it's very interesting as it actually works out. So here's how this story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. I'll stop there for a brief moment. Our Ouija board device that Liz is holding, you're going to be looking for the initials RI for Rhode Island. It's going to make more sense even further in just a moment. Spirit Box listeners, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl show up, it's not coincidence. We get it here all the time because it's part of the doctor's name. So you guys are getting the point. Moving forward, Dr. Ladd moves here because he is supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not. On his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It was kind of like having a really bad Uber driver today. So, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. That's the reason why I have that device that you're holding, as I wanted to make sure all of the RIs I was getting out of a regular spirit box. Wow, somebody just broke something. Sounds of shattering glass. Gotta love that on a ghost night. But anyway, that's the reason why we have that device. Moving forward, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's gonna try to kill you. Just come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. So Amanda gets wind of this and she's moving down so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. This is the reason I hate this story. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit has a cliche whistling ghost. Ours just happens to be a doctor. We're going to move forward. Let's talk about the duel. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So one night, they go see Richard III, and they're arguing over the new actress they just saw that they never seen before. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph did not. They start arguing, and then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Ralph then goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Somebody's going to die. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb. The two gentlemen came down here back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned, and the doc points his gun in the air, and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happened in a duel in the 1700s. Ralph has his one bullet left in his flintlock, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, he fell to the ground. Ralph proved his point. He's not willing to forgive. Doc's friends took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, obviously because he died. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles. We have 3 cameras plus my voice recorder running. In the event that a disembodied whistle will show up, it'll be on one of those 4 devices. However, on the red spirit boxes, I can't tell you how many times you've had the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor from a commercial show up immediately after. Dozens upon dozens of times. Again, it's just him kind of letting us know that he's here and saying hello to us all the time. If you're going to try this on your own without me, because I can't take you all the way through, I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that because that's the fun part of the story. You need to use the voice recorders from your phones later on. Just remember that every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here in Charleston. Now, here's how I got thrown out. So this is the fun part. You ready? Now, where we came in, there used to be a wall up there, like pretty close to Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. Now, why am I telling you this? Because down at the other end, those bricks are older than the ones you're standing on. They are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. Nothing paranormal about it. We all need to see how far we've come from slavery. You're in Charleston. You're going to hear about it. Now, when you get down there, obviously, I took my group down there on November 26th of 2020. They're all huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen. I know nothing's going to happen. Because again, that kid's not staring at the brick in the afterlife. So I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not realizing I was out of bounds for tours. I was still new at this. So the new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical. She was on the tour that night, and her dad's getting yelled at. She was all about it. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart, and you guys all fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you've scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving again. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time, and I told him what happened, trying to figure out what to do next. And he started laughing at me just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you can only go down halfway. Other than that, it's considered residential. Reroute your group tonight. Well, it's Black Friday, and I'm sold out again. So I told my group, I don't believe in the next story we're going to because I'm into vampires, not pirates. Obviously, we're going to be discussing pirates next. So before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, the female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I got a little excited. I took him around the corner, told him what I did know about piracy in Charleston. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I no idea what that means, so I wrote it down. I did the research for them. It turns out we were there November 28th of 2020, and Bonnie's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We're going to let these fine folks pass through. Excuse us. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. Was the first time I went there to fully investigate with a stranger team, if you get the point. So I've been taking you guys there ever since. I actually had a problem with this because I have a master's degree in creative writing. Whenever I research anything, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, guys, and pirate lore was written 100 years after the days of Blackbeard. That's a problem. I have to read more books to verify whatever you guys are finding. Luckily for you, we're 4 years later. I've read the books. So I just know when we get over there, it is a 50-50 shot if Anne Bonny will even be there, but we will get things from Dr. Ladd over there as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. The gate, by the way, I also like to point that out. There's another reason why I stop at the gate. I know I talk a lot in this location, and then we're going to go talk again before we spread out. But the gate, remember I told you that there was a wall up there? So if there was a loser to the duel down here, the gate was the shortcut to get to the cemetery literally on the other side of this wall behind me. Otherwise, they have to walk all the way down the Queen Street and then double back with the dead body before they can go celebrate the winner. And when we walk by that gate, the wrought iron was probably put there in the early 1900s to kind of like stop it as an easement to get over to St. Philip's, property, because this is city property. That is obviously the church property. But you'll see that the archway, when you look above it, is actually part of the original wall. So just one of those stupid little fun facts that you find, and you're like, oh, I'm going to spread that around because I call that thing the Death Gate. So super fun stuff. Cameras, as we're going over to the next location, if you want to leave them running, completely up to you. Again, just don't make the catering team up there feel uncomfortable that we're filming them. But we're going to go up and around the corner and stay out of the way of the other ghost tours. Have we heard or seen anything on our devices before we leave the space?
Nope.
As soon as I put this on, we're 200 to 300.
200 to 300. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Nope.
I just heard the word presentation.
Presentation. 200 to 300 and presentation. Any words being spelled out?
No, sir.
All right, Keith, we'll get you unmuted again so you can listen and get back to work. Any numbers from our EMF devices?
Nothing.
All right. We ready to learn about Rated R Pirates? Okay, we're going to go this way. Can't go that way. We're gonna get rid of parking meters on the other side. When we spread out in the back, we get a 2.5. I'm actually excited about those. Just so you know. It's a rarity that we actually see them. We did get like a 3-point something here last night, and then like a 6 the night before. So I was pretty stoked. So John, where's our word list at? Where are we at on the list? Just give me the last 3 or 4 terms, and if anybody at the Spirit Box heard anything along the way here.
Positive, aluminum high, instant.
Instant high from aluminum. Neat. Sorry, I got to put a story together for it. What did you hear?
I heard military.
Okay.
And one more word.
Write that one down. What do you got?
I heard foundation and Charleston.
Charleston's I throw away because you're listening to Charleston radio stations. Same thing with the number 843. That's our area code. So if you guys hear 843, don't even tell me. I'll write it down. So that's kind of how this goes. So you guys see the tiny little building behind me? This is the Gunpowder Magazine. So it's a museum now, so it's a great $5 to spend if you guys are going to be in town for a few days. But we're here not because of the building itself, but what it actually stands for. So notice that these crosses on the building are not crosses. They're earthquake poles. So just like I talked about the earthquake of 1886 at the top of our night, earthquake bolts, if you're not familiar with them, they're basically turnbuckles. So it goes all the way through the building, and if we have another earthquake like what we did before, you can tighten it, and it'll tighten the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. And the only reason I bring these ones up specifically is because it is part of the reason why we're here. That's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. You guys are seeing them all over town in the form of lion heads and pineapples and Charleston charm. Even the apartment building behind it has them on every single floor. But notice how crude these ones are. It's the first set they put in because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We are here because this building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. This is what I call a familiar. For those of you that don't watch the TV shows, they're using a new device called a Boo Buddy. Basically a teddy bear with a little blinky light EMF meter in it, so a child ghost can come near it and it says, ooh, that tickles, and it's super creepy. But they use that as a toy because the child would recognize it. Think of that concept with this building. We don't have any buildings this old, so we're hoping that Anne Bonny is around this area because it's from her era. So that's why this is a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll even be here. But remember, we will get bleed over from Dr. Ladd. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like a government? Small building? 10 years? No, not at all. I'll change it for you. I have a lot of uncomfortable looks on that one. Go building a lot.
I'm just thinking of all the unfinished roads we have.
All right. With this particular building, our history begins right in the middle of it. I'll speed through this one so we can get back after work because I see a lot of like the feet shuffling, like Nick talks a lot. But I will slow down on some of the twists because we are talking about a kick-ass female pirate. Now, 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Okay, the three of them running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was that wife that she kicked him out of the damn country? So if you're here with a lady friend, treat her nice. She'll kick you all the way up to Canada by plane. They didn't have planes back in 1708. They had boats. They landed in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation in Georgetown, but Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to sell things from that plantation to keep things afloat, hence the familiar building. Let's take a step back in Ireland for just a second. They say when Anne was only 7, 8, 9 years old that she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. I'm just kind of giving you the mentality of this young lady as we kind of go through her history. So fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is pretty stoked because she's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world during these times. So the first guy she falls in love with, and I said it that way because there's a good number of them. We're going to talk about them all. That's what makes her story so interesting. First guy is James Bonney. You already see where this one's going, right? Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac became Anne Bonny. That's where the name came from. When they get down to Jamaica and they're married, she realizes that her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep track for you. Guy number 2 is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case anybody was wondering. Jack has his own crew. He has his own ship. Anne wants to be part of that crew. You cannot put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Look at all of the awkward silences. It's bad luck, everybody. Get your heads out of the gutter. So, now, it's bad luck, so he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, then you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. But we are all adults here. Put 2 and 2 together. She is a female in Jack's quarters, and you cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So she does get pregnant, and before she starts the show, Jack drops her off in Cuba. Have the baby here. These are friends of mine. Come back later, and we'll figure it out. She goes and has that baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child, by the way. None of my research has ever discovered it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. The reason why is now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more mad, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. Down below deck, guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like pirates on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now Anne and Mary, friends for sure, maybe lovers, not really sure but the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor about that is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that were not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks. So they don't know how to use cannon jet. So obviously 2 ladies with 1 bullet guns cannot take on a whole fleet of Navy ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain and beau and says, Jack, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up on your communication devices a lot, by the way. The judge wants to see the 2 men, quote unquote, that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried to hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front of the judge and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they are female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. They scream out, we plead our bellies, which means they're claiming to be pregnant, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we're not really sure. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know anything truthful about her after her pirate career, and obviously I don't like to spread rumors. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. I usually say just call it scurvy. Now, make it romantic, right? So I'm not going to control this environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site. You can ask whatever you want, but here's a couple of things I left out. I did not tell you the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I did not tell you the name of the city she grew up in Ireland. The name of the ship that she joined with Calico Jack, and the color of her hair. Everything else is fair game. Ask whatever the hell you want to here. This is one of those locations I say if you brought a bottle of rum and you smoke tobacco, have at it. You'll probably attract her closer to you. So again, we're going to spread out at this location. Obviously, we're down to like 3 cars. EMF meters, you guys got the gist on yours. Try to stay towards the back. If you find the reading, let me know. I'll do a few round robins like what we did before. Anything going on weird already? All right, guys, let's get to work. Here we go.
Whoa.
And Chase, I don't always follow up with that camera and the one that Elaine's using because
Yep.
they're small.
Okay.
I sent them to YouTube so I can watch them like on a computer screen. You guys can watch them on TV.
I'm pretty dialed in. I'm checking.
I've been watching you. I know you're
Yeah.
so quiet. I'm like, oh, everybody else is like
Wait,
pulling my
why
attention.
aren't we supposed to ask the color of her hair?
No, you can't.
Oh, you're saying that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you things that I left out of the story on purpose.
Gotcha. Thought we could ask.
Right. Yeah, I gave you like prompts. If you want to ask anything else, go for it. What do you got? Remember, I can't prove it. If you get the right answer, I want to see this. Same thing.
And that's interesting. You can observe the same thing over and over. Wow. Well, you look up
He was
We
in
got
upper
Go
management at
Bun.
Walmart,
I know.
and he's got a master's in creative writing.
Literally chuckling. This and this and that.
Yeah, nice humble brag. What? Hmm? What?
What's Big John?
I don't know where John is.
What about John?
Big
You
John.
got Big John?
I don't know where Big John is.
Oh. Our Big John.
Yeah, our Big John.
I don't think he's taking his job seriously.
I know.
Trying to say you're looking for some
He told us in the way here there's a really famous like cake shop around
Oh,
here.
yeah, he's a
Yeah, he might have just like bailed to get some cake.
We heard it closed at 10:30, so he's out of here.
That's definitely what he's doing, man. And then Dr. Brown. Those were two. I'm not missing this opportunity. He says miss coconut cakes around. You said you like sweets?
Where's my spirit box? Oh, she's got it now. Are you the tanner that was on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
William Tanner. Bill.
Get out of here. You serious? Where you at?
Oh, that's hilarious then. Also, what's the song? It was back to back, kind of a vibe. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, but that's why I can't remember. It's the song that's like something about I gotta find it. Killing me
Got
softly.
nothing.
You guys know that?
No stability. I mean, I was telling Tanner, he probably found out that cake shop ended at 10:30 or closed at 10:30 and he was out of here. We gotta come back
But
to
I
the
feel
cake.
And running, I think it's running his hands in my hair. That was the part. But I heard that song, different parts of it, 3 different times.
I got nothing. What do you say? I'm going for. Oh my gosh, he is. Good. Okay, alright. That's hilarious. You're right.
So everything you heard is irrelevant as well, because it was from a previous tour. Unfortunately. The unfortunate, well, I guess the fortunate part is that you guys between the two, you didn't really hear much besides "That's Too Sexy." Yeah, that was
Are you recording?
Yeah. What?
Let's see if you got anything weird. Nothing. Did you have something else that you didn't tell me?
Pal and
Yeah, I'm actually excited about that PAL. But I also look for AB for Aunt Bonnie or MR for Mary Reed over here. So whenever I kind of
AB and MR. You like Pal?
we're near the Powder magazine.
But you don't like those?
I didn't say I didn't like it, but again, the I'm Too Sexy would have kind of confirmed that. But again, it came from a recording, right? So it came from a previous tour's recording on there.
Oh, so she made it
Right.
previous.
Correct. So exactly. Let's see.
Yeah, let's go over next to it. Let's go over next to it.
MR. So we're kind of giving us an extra few minutes because again, I don't feel like there's anything going on. This is usually a quick stop, just a longer story. And then I'll explain our next stop because it's a lot different than what we've been doing. So again, we'll be working
Which
as
stop historically has the most
Pink National. I will never take that out of my route. Never.
That was where?
That was the first parking lot we went to. So I was getting a lot of like disrespectful ghost hunters on your end, and I was getting like nasty disembodied messages, like going over the like 15 radio stations, like, and you know it's the same voice and it's one long message and it's not radio chatter. So you can analyze the hell out of that. Obviously, I was like, okay, I better give this place a break because I do change this every year. I take out one space and add a new one because I get a lot of reviews. So that way they're not always doing the exact same thing. So I actually took that out for a few weeks while I was investigating new spaces with my groups and kind of testing things out. But I always go back. But every night I walk through there before I meet with y'all, and I tell her all of your names if I know them. So if the way you guys book, he has to list all of your names. So I have them written down, so I can literally read them off. It's just kind of a sign of respect. Eliza, this is who I'm bringing by. We're going to be as respectful as we can. If I feel like they're disrespectful, I'll get us out of here. Like it's just a pact, kind of thing. So I do it every single night. So I know it sounds odd, but this is life for me. So again, and then I kind of like on my way to that location, I talk to all of these other people. And if you're going to show up, make sure you show up quickly. We don't stay there long. Dr. Ladd, you can follow us. Like I kind of give him that permission. And then our last stop, I don't even like to mention his name yet until we get over there because 2 people are not going to know anything about the history as we do the experiment, but the rest of it all will. So you'll see how that actually works. So,
Bum.
bum and buns.
Bum and buns.
All kinds of that showing up on there,
I
right?
like the booty.
Why do you say it like that?
by all means, if you wanted to hand keep over something, because I did take his device and he wants to handle something, it's up to you guys. So, with that said, this one is super quick and short. All the other cameras, you guys can point them whichever direction that you want to go to. But here's how this story goes. The first time I ever came over here, and this is a visual, so I have to look for it since my tablet died. But the first time I came in here, I only had 2 people, because it was the month of November. We were exploring the space, and I didn't even know who the hell we were looking for. So the young lady with the spirit box, she actually, she hears the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using the word list that John has, and I had the name Tim. Well, behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, who was born in 1828. So it was kind of a hot damn, there's my ghost. So anyway, here's how his story goes, very quick. He's a writer who's sick through most of his life. So being born in 1828, he can go fight for the Civil War on the Confederate side. He goes out to the battlefield, and his comrades realize he is too sick to fight. They sent him home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. He became known as the laureate of the Confederacy after he started writing poetry about what was happening on the battlefield. So a laureate, by the way, is a pretty prestigious title for writers, in case you're unfamiliar with that. So he's doing pretty well for himself, and he has a son by his wife, Katie. So the son's name is Willie, and he's born on Christmas Eve, but yes, he does die 9 months later. Very tragic for him and Katie. Henry is not writing as much. He has another friend here in town, another writer. His name is Paul Hamilton Hayne. He realizes that his friend Henry is not writing as much and offers him his cottage in Columbia. That's the middle of the state. So he goes out there, and that's where he wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, which basically in today's modern English means dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a blood stain because he had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. However, we are here because of that blood stain. They show it one day a year because it's very unique. They show it at the Charleston Library Society because that's where his collection is held. But it looks like a man writing at his desk. They only show that page on Halloween, and you have to be a member to go see it. The internet's beautiful, so I'm going to show you what the bloodstain looks like. Normally it's on the tablet as a separate picture, so you kind of have to huddle around. I'll actually go around the horn so you can see what that actually looks like, a man writing at his desk. We call this the blood book. So Henry is not always happy about me being here, just so you guys know. So it usually takes me a minute or 2 to get over there to get him to kind of draw out a little bit. So I'll need, obviously, your help because, oh no, she'll be able to hear me. So with Caitlin's end of things, I don't touch the people on the bench, and obviously she's not going to be able to hear me. So I may ask one of y'all, if she's too loud, to tap her on the shoulder. She'll know what that means to quiet down. I'll explain it when we get over there. When we're done, somebody will tap her on the leg to let her know to take off her gear. Remember, I'm never going to touch her, so I'll probably volunteer one of the ladies out of your party to go and do that for me. So when we get over there, hopefully it looks like a conversation. EMF can go high. We may get an answer from on the word list or the Ouija board device. So again, I don't know where the answers are going to go. It's very interesting how this whole process works. So hopefully we either have a good laugh or we have a full-blown conversation. You guys ready to talk to a ghost?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, it's an origami project. So it's a Batman mask. So I figured I'd always have a 50-50 shot of a woman sitting here, and I didn't want to mess up anybody's hair. So there's your Batman mask. There's go in your ears.
Okay.
And then you'll put your headphones over top. Don't put it on yet, because I do have to explain a few things while I'm setting up the visual part of this. Just so you know, if you're speaking too loud, which I don't think is going to be a problem, we do have neighbors. Somebody from your party will actually tap your shoulder, quiet down a little bit. I will never touch you. When we're done, that same person will tap you on the leg, take off your own gear. We only do this for about 10 minutes. Anything more than that can be very disorienting for people that don't do this on a regular basis. You're literally going to be telling me everything you hear. So say it as you hear it. So including yes/no answers. Because again, you don't know what I'm asking. We don't know what's actually going to pop up. So they're going to be filming the entire thing. Looks like Ginger is going to be filming it with extra light. With your images, you're going to see like space here in the distance. It's not going to be like Jurassic Park's dinosaurs are eating your face kind of virtual reality. So every once in a while, in front of that like galaxy, an image will show up. Explain the image in simple terms. 2 ladies bench tree. Otherwise, she can't hear you. You'll obviously have the questions. You'll also know when we're done. I'll say, Lane, go ahead and take that thing. Alright, so I'm going to set this up do is look straight ahead. It will line up with you once I get it set up. And I don't know what the images are that you're going to see. I've been doing this experiment with the images for about a year, and I've yet to see the same image show up twice. So take that for what it is. So, trying to look straight ahead. You do have a focus on here in case it's blurry. There's a little dial right here, so you can move back, and then underneath you have little thumb tabs, so you can push it in or out.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so it's now. So, Caitlin, can you hear me? Yes, you can. Put those headphones on. It's 10:59.
Oh.
You got something already?
No, it's really loose.
When do I start telling you when to hear?
As soon as you hear it.
Okay.
We've already started.
I don't know if no.
Podcast?
Okay. Henry Timrod, I'm asking you to come forward. You just speak through Caitlin here. And we'll have a lane. You can see whatever you want us to see tonight. You can use the green box if you're seeing images. Henry Timrod, we're going to start
Love you.
simple like we always do. Can you tell us something about your occupation, or maybe show us one of the tools that you had to use?
My computer career?
Henry, be more specific. What did you do for a living? Henry, what's the sound we're getting out of the church right now? What sound do we hear? And we've actually had the word bell spelled out on the Ouija board list, just so you know. And then we've actually seen it on the word list. So we've got it at all parties. That's why I usually ask that question.
Breathe.
Henry, what sound are we getting out of the church right now? You can show us. You can give us an image of it. We're still hearing it. What's the sound, Henry?
Never gonna get it?
You got something?
On my mind. You cannot find.
Worries? Keep your focus. It is. Sometimes it's hard to describe. Give it a second to kind of generate.
New.
Henry, what's in the image?
Still.
It almost looks like a playing card. Like a kind of, not really. Someone's wearing a blue
Summer.
red hat,
Political.
mustache.
Mustache?
Like a king's playing card, like like royal,
Okay.
like
It's a royal
space.
card.
That's what it looks like to me on this side.
Okay, can you say there's a man with a mustache?
He's got a mustache, a red hat, and he's wearing blue drape. It looks like he's wearing a blue curtain almost.
Here
And now it's
comes.
gone.
She AirPods?
Okay, Henry, I'm not sure what's going on in the image. We'll be able to take a look at
Everybody
that.
know it?
Henry, we're still asking about your occupation. What did you do for a living?
Looking for me, teenager.
We are looking for you. We want to make sure you're here. If somebody,
Take me to the river.
if somebody else came with you, let me know who that person is. Remember, every Dr. Lad shows up here, because it's right around the corner. So again, place of range of motion, lead over here. He knows to show up from time to time. Henry, if somebody came with you, let me know. But we're still looking for your occupation. You are not a card player. You know what the playing card is? Somebody playing music? Henry.
Whatever.
Kind of a jerk move, right? Henry, we're being respectful. I know it's been noisy tonight. It's not in your favor. You don't always like it that way.
That's the sky.
The lights being shown in the south. It's an odd thing. Henry, tell us about your occupation. Trying to make it nice and easy for you.
300 plus tax.
This is number 300 tonight. I think this is the third time it's heard. Henry,
Lori.
let's move on. Let's talk about what your work actually did.
Material girl.
Looking for you to validate that you were a writer. You can tell us what you wrote about.
Nobody knows me.
They actually study you in colleges. They are learning more and more about you, but I would like to know more directly from you.
Oh God. There's a giant eye, just
Just a big eye.
big eye,
Okay.
looking at me. Just one.
Blinking,
Nope.
blinking at you.
No.
Dog will have a home.
Henry. Tell us about what you wrote about.
150.
Henry, we're about halfway through this, and you haven't given us anything. Dr. Ladd, if you're here, you
Any in the Jets?